have a pattern. Something genuinely excites me. A concept, a community, a strategy. And I go all in. Books, podcasts, courses, all in the same week. Then I crash. Somewhere around week 2 or 3, because results take longer than 3 weeks. Then I quit. Not just the new thing. Everything. Go all in. Crash. Quit. Repeat. Financial independence. Day trading. Health habits. Same movie, different theater. The pattern didn't break when I tried harder. It broke when I finally named it. You cannot change a pattern you haven't named. In episode 2, I talked about your identity operating system, the story running underneath your behavior, shaping your choices before your conscious mind has finished the sentence. Self-awareness is the interface between that operating system and everything it produces. Identity asks, who am I and who am I becoming? Self-awareness answers, here's what I actually do, here's why, and here's the gap between the two. Without it, identity work stays theoretical. You declare yourself a new person, then watch the old patterns reassert themselves, because you never saw them clearly enough to interrupt them. You're fighting ghosts you can't see. With it, those same patterns become data, not judgments, not character flaws. Data, something you can study with curiosity and address with strategy instead of willpower. That's the difference between changing and trying to change. The trying happens at the behavior level. The changing happens one floor below. Self-awareness runs in two directions at once. Internal self-awareness is the capacity to observe your own inner world. Thoughts, emotions, beliefs, values, triggers, fears. Watching yourself from a slight remove, with honest curiosity. Catching yourself mid-pattern instead of being swept along by it. External self-awareness is understanding how you actually show up. Your tone, your energy, your impact on other people, the gap between what you meant and how it landed. Most of us are stronger in one than the other. Some understand their own experience vividly and underestimate how they're landing on everyone else. Others know exactly how they appear and have less access to what's driving it. Internal awareness tells you why. External awareness tells you how you're showing up in the life you're actually living. You need both. The pattern that took me longest to see cost the most while it stayed invisible. It was the one I had with debt. Every hard financial moment followed the same sequence. The event arrives, the layoff, the MLM loss, the foreclosure, the short sale, my mother's death. The emotional weight lands, and then reliably, I respond the same way. Find more income, take more risk, out-earn my way back to solid ground. Underneath it was a money script I couldn't hear myself saying. I can't let it sit. A dollar showing up meant I needed to spend it, pay off debt, or invest it. Anything but leave it sitting there underutilized. Each time felt like a fresh response to a new problem. It wasn't. I wasn't making independent decisions across 25 years. I was running one trigger response on repeat. It never solved the underlying thing. It just redirected the anxiety for a while. What finally broke it wasn't a better strategy, it was awareness. 3 tools build this. Tool 1, the life audit. Take a blank page and write down the most significant events of your life. The turning points, the ones that still carry weight. For each one, name what you learned, what belief it created, and whether that belief is still running in your behavior today. The patterns rarely show up inside a single event. They show up in the connections between them. The theme running through the layoff, the MLM years in my early 20s, the day trading collapse 2 decades later, the FI deep dive after that. Same shape, different season. Tool 2, values ranking. Write down 10 to 15 things that genuinely matter to you. Not what should matter, what actually does, including the ones that feel a little embarrassing to admit. Narrow the list to 5, then rank the 5, then the step most people skip. Look at how you actually spent your time and money the last 30 days. Not how you meant to, how you did. That gap is your misalignment map. Tool 3 is trigger mapping. It gets its own exercise. Triggers are the moments when your default pattern activates, when the emotion arrives faster than the conscious mind and the behavior follows it instead of your intention. When you notice an outsized reaction, anger, anxiety, defensiveness, shame, withdrawal. Ask 5 questions in sequence. 1. What specifically happened that produced this reaction? Be precise. Not, they disrespected me. They interrupted me in the meeting for the 3rd time. 2. What emotion arrived and what was its intensity? Name it precisely. Frustration is different from anger. Vague naming produces vague insight. 3. What belief did that emotion activate? Underneath most outsized reactions is a belief that feels threatened about your competence, your worth, your safety, your control. 4. Where did that belief come from? Usually somewhere older. Childhood, a past relationship, an old financial trauma. The layoff created a belief about income security that was still firing my hustle response 2 decades later. Understanding the origin doesn't excuse the response. It explains it. An explanation is the beginning of choice. 5. What would the version of me I'm becoming do here instead? Not the white-knuckling version, the genuinely freer one. Done consistently, it inserts a moment of awareness between trigger and response. That moment is where choice lives. Patterns aren't character flaws. They're the operating system asking to be read. And once a pattern is named, seen clearly, without judgment, it loses most of its power over you. That's the whole game. All 3 tools are written out in Chapter 9 of the Unrestricted Life. The free first chapter and the companion workbook are at the unrestrictedlife.com/chapter. Subscribe if you want one of these every Monday. Each episode pairs with a chapter. Next Monday, the 4-step decision framework. How to make great decisions without needing more information, just a cleaner process. I'll see you then.